Yes. What an Bitcoin is immune from attack.
And welcome to the Crypto Show's Digital Cash Evolution. We're coming to you from Miami, Houston, Denver, and San Francisco on the Bloomberg Network. And we're here to talk to you about the basics of cryptocurrency. And I'm here with my co-host, Chuck, who's actually in Denver.
Hey.
I'm in Las Vegas. Chuck, let everybody know how you got into crypto and what your credentials are.
Yeah, I'll try and keep it really quick. Basically, I'm a 20-year veteran in the software development industry. I've been writing front-end software for a while, and I had an idea, and I presented that idea to some people, and I knew as I was working on that idea back in 2015 that I needed an immutable database, and somebody in the database or somebody in the community said, hey, if you need a database that can't be changed, an immutable database, why don't you take a look at Bitcoin? And I said, well, if it can solve my problem, then sure. So I read the white paper and I bought a couple Bitcoin the next day. And ever since I've been hooked, I've been bitten by the crypto bug, and I went all in, and now I've been in it for a couple of years now. I've had a 2-year or year and a half stint with the Dash Core team, and I promote cryptocurrency with anybody everywhere I can, and I'm just ecstatic about this economic shift that's happening on our planet. So yeah, that's kind of the brief story about how I got into it.
Awesome. Well, let's talk about, I guess the go-to word for everybody is always going to be Bitcoin, because that's what tends to end up in the news the most. But we are sponsored by Dash.org, and Dash has a really unique funding model that actually allowed us to get involved in radio and pay for this airtime and reach out to you. But there's thousands of these currencies out there that work.
Right.
Go over
right. And we're still very early.
Let's go over some of the reasons why cryptocurrency. Why do we need it? Why should we use it? And what does it offer to humanity?
Right. So, one of the things that I always advocate is if you care about, I live in America, and in America, we don't really need new money. We have a money that works. But in places like Venezuela, Ukraine, and other places in the world where they have challenges with, having a stable currency, cryptocurrency is a good option. And I know that a lot of people will take that as opposed to a currency that is consistently being devalued. But here in America, if you really value your personal freedom, if you're the kind of person that thinks that your money should be yours to control and that banks shouldn't be allowed to confiscate your funds or stop transactions or prevent you from sending or receiving money, cryptocurrency is a viable option. Nobody controls your funds. He who controls the private keys controls the funds. And that, to me, was really appealing. And I think should be appealing to a lot of freedom-oriented people who value their personal property.
Right. Let's go over kind of some of the hurdles that you have to get over to get into this, like wallets and private keys and things like that.
Right. So if you're just getting started in crypto,
I mean, that's probably one of the things that really keeps a lot of people out. Like Bitcoin, what's that? What's a wallet? What are these things?
So a wallet is a piece of software that allows you to talk to the blockchain, and you can get some basically Dash approved wallets. If you go to dash.org/wallets, there's a number of options there where you can download. There's paper wallets where you can just print it out and you can send money to a QR code basically, and it sits on the blockchain until you get a wallet that is able to control those funds. Or you can get a digital wallet on your phone, on your mobile device, and receive money at any time. You can also get a hardware wallet. A hardware wallet is basically a USB or like a key fob style device that has hardware encryption on it, very much more secure than the phone wallet option. So personally, I like to keep a certain amount of money in a paper wallet, a certain amount of money in a phone wallet, and that's like the hot wallet, and then a certain amount of money in the hardware wallet. And where you keep those proportions is going to be basically what level of security that you need. When you're getting a cryptocurrency, once you get your wallet, the number one thing that you need to remember is to back up your private key. right now we're still early in the game, and you know, a username and password just doesn't cut it these days. You have to have what this thing called a private key. And the private key in the Bitcoin world and the Dash world gets translated into 12 or 24 words. And so you want to write down those 24 words a couple of times, laminate one of them, bury one in the backyard, put it in a safety deposit box, you know, keep multiple copies for yourself and your family, because that may be the equivalent of putting it in the bank in the future. You know, you become your own bank with these things. And so you need to take on the responsibility of protecting it like a bank. So that private key is how anybody can access and control your funds.
Awesome. What about like stock markets and things like that? You know, there's kind of a comparison where just the average Joe can start trading with cryptocurrency with a, you know, a pretty easy entry level, compared to stock markets. What do you think about that?
You know, I'm torn on this particular subject. I have done some foreign exchange trading a little bit. I did a little bit of currency market trading. I tried to trade on the stock market, getting into options and things like that. And, you know, it takes a lot of time. If you really want to be successful, you have to have a good strategy and you have to understand, you know, a lot of fundamentals. Or sometimes you can just play it like the lottery or a casino and just get lucky. And that happens all the time. But I really would encourage people that if you're getting into crypto, only put in what you're willing to lose, no matter what you're doing with it. Now, me, I've been broke most of my life. So for me, that's pretty much everything. I'm all in. But that's not the case for everybody. So, you know, if you're looking at cryptocurrency as an investment, which I don't. I look at it as a lifestyle. But if you're looking at it as an investment and you believe that cryptocurrency is nothing more than an investment, then you should really only put in what you're willing to lose, because the swings, you can get 20 and 30% swings on a day. We can get 90% drops after all-time highs, and that's normal in this space. With most of these cryptocurrencies. So, you know, you get extreme volatility, the kind that makes you sick if you have a lot of money in it. So you really, you know, if you're getting into trading, or you're, you know, looking at the exchanges, and you can look at some reputable exchanges that the Dash community and core team approve of by going to dash.org/exchanges. And you can look at a number of exchanges there that Dash that are accepting Dash and trading in Dash, which is one of the fastest cryptocurrencies out there. But, you know, again, getting into this, it's very much, it's even more volatile than the foreign exchange market. It's less predictable than a lot of markets. But there are literally thousands of cryptocurrencies out there that you can change, or trade in. And not all of the exchanges are, you know, legitimate. So you have to be careful about the exchange that you're trading on. Also, I was just reading yesterday about how somebody visited the KuCoin offices. That's KuCoin, as it was listed on their incorporation documents in Hong Kong. And apparently they're not there, and they haven't been there for a number of years, and nobody who's there currently has ever heard of them. So, but they did release a statement. Their Twitter account is still, I think, currently shut down, but that's just one example. Like, it's still the crypto space and the trading space and the exchanges. You know, there's no government who will enforce the rules of engagement with these exchanges. It's very much Wild West still. So you got to be careful when you get into this space, because nobody's going to be necessarily there to protect you. And so you have to be, you know, you have to protect yourself when you're getting into.
And, you know, one of the best ways actually for people to start getting into this is, you know, eyeball some of the more popular exchanges, but also go to your city's meetup.com and find maybe whatever the biggest Bitcoin meetup or cryptocurrency meetup is, and go there and meet those people. And they will actually, you know, usually help you set up a wallet and either give you some cryptocurrency in small amounts, or sell you some. And that's usually the best way to do it. You can go
absolutely.
What is it? Coin ATM Radar, and you can find all of the local ATMs that are near you, and just go buy small amounts just to see how the machine works and kind of get a feel for it.
Yep, that's the best. I think the best thing that you can do is get yourself set up on a wallet. You can't really judge cryptocurrency until you've done 2 transactions, one receiving and one sending.
Yeah. We do another show actually in Phoenix that's a really basics level show as well. And we have meetups in Phoenix after that show at one of the local pizza joints. And this guy actually accepts all types of crypto. So when we're there setting up people with a wallet or whatever and teaching them about crypto, then we can just take them over to the counter and show them a transaction and how fast it is and just how easy it is. I think once people get the grasp of, okay, you just sent money from my phone to your phone and there's no intermediary,
Right. And this is, and part of that, I think a really big part that I've always advocated is you're getting in touch with your community when you go to these events. I really love that suggestion of going to meetup.com and just like, I just went and searched for meetup within 50 or cryptocurrency within 50 miles of Denver. And I see there's some things happening. There's a couple events on Monday, Bitcoin Beginners Night. There's a Wednesday, Boulder Blockchain. There's a Thursday, Bitcoin Get Together.
We're coming to break, so we'll catch up with this on the other side. And welcome back to the Crypto Show's Digital Cash Evolution in whatever city you might be, whether it's Miami, Houston, Denver, or San Francisco. We're located in all of those markets here on the Bloomberg Network. And we were talking about reaching out to local Bitcoin meetups and stuff like that to try to learn new things about cryptocurrency and how you can get involved without getting taken by some scammer. That's not to say that you won't find a scammer at a meetup, but when you have a larger group of people there, I think you can generally figure out which ones you can trust and which ones not. But
yeah, that's right, Danny. I mean, anytime you go to these community events, you get to know people, you talk with people, you interact with people, and you start to see the same people kind of over and over again at these events, and that's just the nature of these communities that we're engaging with, and you can see that these communities are indeed growing around the world. One of my favorite sites to go to look at this information. It's a website called coin.dance. That's coin.dance. And if you go to coin.dance, up in the upper left, there's an area where you can click that says volume. And when you click on this page, you get an option to select 3 of the major peer-to-peer trading sites: Local Bitcoins, Paxful, and BISQ. These 3 sites are where a lot of people arrange to meet one another and buy and sell cryptocurrency, specifically Bitcoin in most cases. And if you look at the Local Bitcoins charts, you can see that there has been tremendous growth. It's a weekly chart that breaks down the volume of Bitcoins traded on Local Bitcoins through this setup, face-to-face meeting kind of site, and it peaked right around December timeframe globally, right? And since then we've been kind of in a downtrend, but we're still very much higher, multiple times higher in terms of trading volume since just even a year ago, where it's probably several times higher than that, even now still with a major drop off after December's high. Now, looking at one of the things that I really find intriguing is places like Argentina and Venezuela and other places that are economically distressed or have failing currencies. Their volumes are skyrocketing. They are blowing up. And I wish I could share this with the radio audience, but the Venezuela chart in particular, where Dash happens to be, have 700 businesses registered. Is that right? Over 700 businesses registered as of this week in Venezuela. Do you know that, Jamie?
Yeah. And I think about that. And we'll have someone that we'll be interviewing in one of the next shows, one of the upcoming shows, who's actually went there and kind of experienced that. And from when I talked to him, he said he went into a local mall and there were just like multiple stores everywhere. Just anything he wanted, he could find in Venezuela, in Caracas, specifically.
Yeah, and he kind of chronicled it on Twitter a little bit too, right? Oh, and he made a documentary, right? We're talking about Rod, right?
About this, and I know the numbers from one of the local Bitcoin exchanges that is there in Venezuela said that the number of transactions with Dash actually outnumbered all of the other cryptocurrencies combined, but Bitcoin did outshine that on volume because of speculation. So
right. Yeah, and so Venezuela, I mean, my goodness, it is the most angular spike upward in terms of all of these volume charts. Venezuela has taken off in the last few weeks in terms of Bitcoin, but I've heard, and I would love to confirm this with Rod when we have him on, that Dash has even exceeded Bitcoin in terms of businesses accepting and volume of transactions happening in the Venezuelan space.
well, yeah, that's exactly what they've said. Is, there's more businesses accepting it, throughout Caracas and other parts of Venezuela. In numbers of transactions, Dash outdoes everybody else, but Bitcoin outdoes it in volume because that's what everybody's speculating on.
And you might be asking, why is this even happening? I think that this is an economically distressed place.
That's what I was gonna suggest we talk about that, and that would actually be the DAO. Do you want to kind of explain what a DAO is and how this governance model allows Dash and multiple other currencies that are actually using this same model to fund these projects that actually pay for advertising? This is how we're able to fund this show, is through this DAO.
Exactly.
Give us an idea of
and I want to again. Yeah, and so before I go into that real quick, I'll just say thank you to the Masternode Network again for funding this project. It's very much appreciated, and so that we can get the message out about Dash. But yes, Dash Dash is a cryptocurrency. It is also a protocol. It is and a payments network. And Dash has a function slightly different than Bitcoin, where it's a self-fund projects. One of those major projects is the Dash Core Group, who I was previously employed with for about a year and a half. But they also pay for this show separately. They also pay for Dash Force News. They also pay for a number of other projects, and those projects are voted on a monthly basis by invested holders of the Dash cryptocurrency payments network. These people are called Masternode owners. To own a Masternode, all you need to do is collect 1,000 Dash, currently valued at, I think, around $160-something thousand range, with Dash at a little over $160, right? And with that, you get a vote, one vote per Masternode. And it's a yes, no, or abstain vote currently. But we expect future upgrades as the years go on for abilities to vote in different ways. But that's neither here nor there. Bottom line is those votes decide where the funding goes. And where the funding goes is in places like this show, the Dash Core team to support development, and a number of other different kinds of projects that have been funded. From development to software to promotions and marketing to conferences to meetups and all kinds of things.
And outreach in Venezuela, which is how they got all those businesses to accept Dash.
Especially, yes, and there's been, I think, a few options there. And what's funny is, if I can try and get this story in very quickly, there was a person who, within the past few months that had kind of written off Dash very publicly on his website or on his YouTube channel, and didn't think that Dash was something very special. Well, he went and did a proposal or a suggestion about how he could get cryptocurrency into the hands of Venezuelans, not necessarily specifically thinking about Dash. And that proposal or that presentation was sent around in the Dash channels, and the Dash network, basically the community, reached out to him, and I think that he's taken that to the next level since then and received funding. Is that right?
And which one is that?
I can't remember his name, but I think he had an accent, and he had family in Venezuela. I don't know if you saw the presentation, but he talked about how his dad was in Venezuela, and he tells him the stories about what's going on financially in Venezuela, and that moved him to put forth this effort where basically he would train people on how to use cryptocurrency and give them basically what was the equivalent of a 2-week salary in Dash cryptocurrency, which amounts to about $2.50.
Right. Yeah. And, one of the other things that these things are allowed to fund is, I've done some charity outreach here in the past where we actually went down to Hurricane Harvey there in Houston. And, we helped 3,100 people, all of this funded by cryptocurrency. People actually tried to donate us US dollars, and we refused those dollars just to kind of give a use case, show that what we could actually do with cryptocurrency. We went to 12 cities there and helped out all those people. And, it was so successful. We even bought a boat and pulled people out of the water. I think we had 30-something people that we had pulled out of the water around the Beaumont area.
Yeah, I remember seeing those photos.
Yeah, man. And then after that,
heartwarming.
the earthquakes were after that. And so we kind of graduated into Mexico and started building houses and a community center down there. And, just all of this to show that, cryptocurrency exceeds its stigma of being illegal and for drugs and so on and so forth. Even law enforcement love it when you're going to use cryptocurrencies because they can track what you're doing. If you're on dark websites, if they do enough work, they can figure out, they have some evidence right there to prove that you've done these things. So it's not a good idea to be doing
the blockchain isn't going away.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's an immutable record of what you did, so be careful.
Yeah, always be careful. And that's one of the things that Dash brought to the table also is a privacy option, but we won't get into that till another time. But yeah, you're right, Danny. It has a bad stigma, and I've always appreciated the work that you have done to brighten the face of cryptocurrency and show that good things can indeed be done with cryptocurrency on a regular basis. And you can send money from anywhere in the world at any time, and it's very cheap to send, and you know exactly where it's landing, and you can see in the blockchain where it gets spent.
And we'll be right back. We're heading into the next break, and we'll be talking with the CEO of cheapair.com and find out why he's using cryptocurrency on his site for ordering flights and hotels.